Good morning and welcome in on this foggy, cold and frosty December morning. And my name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK. And whatever the weather is doing outside, we're going to have a bit of fun with some crafting inside. I'm still sort of surrounded by little bits of Christmassy things from the bingo event we had on Friday night. So it was lovely to have quite a few people with us on Friday evening for a games night, doing all sorts of weird and wonderful mad things. I haven't eaten my peppermint stick yet. Look, it's there. The chocolate's gone, but that is still sitting there. I'm sure it won't be sitting there forever. But anyway, welcome. We're not doing Christmassy things today. Today I thought I would do the first sort of sneaky peek of things that are coming in the new catalogue. Hi Glenda. Of new stamp sets, new dies, new things that are coming from January the 5th. You can get them now if you are a demonstrator. You can get them now if you want to put them in a starter kit. Otherwise, you've got to wait until the 5th of January. Did I say December? The 5th of January is when the new catalogue will launch, and I will be doing a launch event, so there'll be news of that coming up soon, and on and on. But for now, let us move these little bits out of the way. That's where you can find me, www.loveaduckie.co.uk, and we have got, as we do every month, a new host code, which means if you shop with me and you use that host code, it means I know that I can send you out a little thank you. Okay, so what shall we have a play with? I can't show you the catalogue, so I can't show you these things in the catalogue. I'm not allowed to show you that until the 5th of January. I can show you the front. There's the front cover. It's very beautiful. Lots of exciting things to look forward to. And I've got a few things, and I've got a few more things coming this week. But this is the Floating and Fluttering, and it is a stamp set and dies that go with it, and it's really rather exciting. So here's the dies that go along with this stamp set, and it will become really more apparently why it's exciting as we go along, hopefully, because the temptation is to look at it and think butterflies, got butterflies, seen butterflies, done butterflies, and this one's got a bit of an added bonus. So you've got photopolymer stamp set, some two-step stamping, which means that you can either stamp the butterflies and things as they are, or you can infill them and colour them. You've got butterflies, you've got bits of greenery, so these funny bits are all the bits that you use to infill. You've got this rather nice frame just here. And then you've got dies. You've got two sets of the dies that cut out that big stamp just there. That's one big stamp. And then you've got separate butterflies that will cut out all of these butterflies individually. So if you just want one or two of them, you can cut those out individually. And the same with the little bits of greenery. You've got dies that will cut those out. This is this little leaf just here, and then you've got this long piece of foliage. Oh, I've cut my finger, look, paper cut. You've got this long piece of foliage just there, and then you've got this die, which is not a cutting die. It's although I think it does cut, possibly. We'll have to try that and see. But that adds embossed detail to your big butterfly just here, and then you've got a frame, and that frame will cut just around the edge of that stamped image to give you a label with a stamped border, which is all very exciting. So I think we should have a look at this little die here. I would think we would want both of those, but we will check out and see. And I think we'll have that frame to start with. We'll come on to the others in a minute. We'll aim for a fairly quick and simple card for the first one, because the second one might be a little bit more involved. So let's find some Whisper White card that we can cut a frame out with. And I've just picked up some sort of brights, a few subtles, just sort of that I thought might be quite nice, sort of butterfly colours that we can dip into, nice bright bold sort of colours. I think I'm going to go Calypso Coral for my frame. So I'm going to stamp this frame first of all. Let's peel that off. Let's just take that off for now and peel that off. Now the nice thing about our stamps, if you have any other sort of, if you've ever tried to get other photopolymer stamps and things off of sheets, sometimes it can be really difficult because, well, probably because of the stuff that they're made of. They're not made to such a high standard, not such good quality, and you can end up nearly ripping the stamp trying to get them off of the carrier sheet. Right, so there we have our frame, and hopefully that's not too, that does look a little bit wonky. Let's try that again. Let's line it up on my grid on here. Little red star is a leftover from the Christmas trees we were making on Friday. Let's get rid of that too. And let's ink up our frame. Now, if my mini machine had been here, we'd have been able to run these through the mini machine, but that's arriving Wednesday is the day that I have been, that so far the tracking is saying that will be here. So let's line that up there. Like that. Put our top plate on. And run that through the machine. It's knocking on my watercolour pencils. That's it. There we have beautiful label with a nice frame on it, which is rather lovely. Let's find a bit more Whisper White. I'm now going to take this large stamp just here, but I only really want that one, although actually no, I think we'll go for a couple more butterflies on our card. Let's cut a couple of different ones. I'm going to fetch my Simply Chamois. It had dried out over the weekend. There we go, revitalised, looking decidedly stained, but still working perfectly. So let's clean that up. We'll move our frame out the way, and then we'll bring in some of these butterflies. Now, I think I will stamp these. I seem to have an ink pad missing in action. There's that one. Every colour but the one I want. That's very odd that that has gone wandering. I have to say it's not even because I've got lots of bits and bobs everywhere, because I haven't particularly. Let me just go and grab another one. Luckily, I have more than one Memento ink pad. Little sponge bits just falling off my microphone. There we go. Okay. Let's just hope this hasn't dried out. We shall soon see. It's not been used for a little while. It's been in my class box, and of course I've not been going out and doing classes or running classes at home. It's all been here. So let's have a look. Let's stamp some butterflies. Can we get... Can we get all of those butterflies on there? Possibly not. Is that a bit wider? Yes, it is. Not too bad. I'm going to colour them in anyway. Okay, so let's find our colouring in stamps. So I'm going to go first with this biggest butterfly. And I'm going to give him a solid background, or her a solid background colour. What colour shall we have? I think I'm going to go Flirty Flamingo. So let's ink this up with Flirty Flamingo. And then we're going to stamp that on that butterfly. I thought that looked like they got a couple of marks. That's because that was the first stamping with it. But we will, we're going to put some other infill colours on the top anyway. We've got a couple of options. I'm going to come in. Let's come in with this one. And this one is going to give sort of some highlight to the wings. Hi Jane. Just here, it's going to give some little lines down the bottom here and a couple of spots at the top. So let's go I'm going to come in with Mango Melody, I think. Obviously we're going over the top of the Flirty Flamingo, so it might well change the colour on it a little bit, but it will give it you can see where it's given it some shading in there. Now I wonder why I had a line across there. I wonder if I picked up a hair or something on there, and that's why I've got a strange line coming across that particular butterfly. Let's just try it again on a piece of scrap paper. That's better. There must have been a hair or something that's given it that sort of line across it. Just going to stamp over the top of that again, just so that we cover in a little bit that strange little line. So that's one butterfly. Let's have a look at some of these others. So we've got this butterfly here that's sort of side on, just there. So for that one, let's start with Mango Melody. For the solid wings. Obviously you could have grapes on colouring these in. Let's reverse this one. Let's go in. And this one we've got this funny stamp just here. Sort of curves round. I'm going to come in with the Flirty Flamingo. And then for the little butterfly, just here, I'm going to, that's right, one of the neighbour's cats has just come running down the garden. He's obviously stalking something. Thinks he's going to catch something. I don't think he really will be in very much luck. So there's some Flirty Flamingo there. And then for this one, we've got this little stamp here that's going to give us some detail, and I'm going to come in with Calypso Coral on that one. Now, got a little infill stamp for these leaves. So let's infill there. Does that one do that one? I think it might do. I think it might do both. Excellent. And then there is a little infill stamp for this one as well, which is just here. For that one I'm going to take a bit of mint macaron. You can see how these, playing around with colours, you soon get some really beautiful bright butterflies. Let's just fill that in with some mint macaron. Now we could take the little individual butterflies and cut all of those out individually. If we just wanted to have had one butterfly, we could have just sort of stamped off the edge and just got that one butterfly on our card and cut that out. But as we've coloured them all in, we might as well cut them all out. So I'll just line that up and run that through. And there we have a whole little set of butterflies. Now, can you see that die has not cut them out individually? And there's a very good reason for that, and we'll come back to that in a minute. So if you want them cut individually, you do need to run them through with a little die. And if you're thinking to yourself that's a pain, you won't necessarily be thinking that in a minute. So I'm going to cut out this big butterfly. There she is. Let's cut out these two little ones. And the dies are shaped and they're all laid out, so in cutting one you're not damaging the image next door to it. Really are quite beautiful. We have cut off antenna, so if you want your antenna you'd either have to stick those back on, but that seems like a bit too much like hard work, or draw them in is another option. Let's just cut that. Oh, and let's cut this out just to tidy around the edges of those. It's moving as I lay it down. And then for this last run through, I'm going to take back the large butterfly. Up there, take back this large butterfly, and I'm going to bring in this die just here and line that up. And let's see what happens. Oh, it moved. That's what happened. It flew. So that is both a cutting and a embossing die. Let's cut that edge off. And it has given it an embossed feel to it. You can't see it very well, but it's sort of embossed, raised up, the sort of stamped outline pieces, almost like veins. Very pretty. Right. So now we've got a few bits and pieces. We've got our frame and we've got a few butterflies here and some greenery that we're going to be able to add on somewhere around. So let's take it will create a coastal, no we won't, a calypso coral card base. So cut at 14.9, scored at 10.5. Let's take a bit of Whisper White card for a background. So I'm going to cut that at 14.4 and cut at 10. As I think I'm going to want quite a nice bit of white space on the front of this card. So let's find some vellum, I think. And we'll have some vellum in the background there. Now that frame is sort of 4.8 by 7.3. I'm going to make this 8.3 by 5.8. That can sit under there. Let's decide if we want a Coastal Cabana layer under there or not. So what have I just done with that little trimmer? It can't have gone very far. So that was, anybody remember? Was it 8.3? Yep. By 5.8. Let's decide if we want. Yes, I think we do. Right, before we stick all that together, we're going to want some sentiments, because this Floating and Fluttering stamp set is an image only stamp set. There's no sentiments in it, but we have got a stamp set in the new catalogue that's called Many Messages. And the idea behind the Many Messages stamp set is that you've got one great big stamp that stamps out lots of greetings, and one great big die that cuts them all out in one foul swoop, as it was. I think we should bring in the Stamparatus for this job. We've got greetings of all sorts in here. And we're going to need a piece of cardstock that is 12 centimetres by 15, or 14.9 will be fine. So, I know this is 14.9. Let's cut it to 12 centimetres. And I'm going to line that up. About there, I think. It looks like it will work. I'm just going to catch the corner of that with that magnet, and then I'm going to take my Memento ink and let us ink that all up. Now again, you don't have to do the whole lot in one go. You could opt for just picking out one or two of these little sentiments, but let's go for the complete set. Let's give that a good press down all over. Right, I think some of these bits just here. Let me find a stamp pad to put underneath there, just so that I've got something a bit stronger to press down on. I think it was along there, that sort of middle section. It didn't quite catch, I think, because there was nothing underneath it. It wasn't firm enough. Brilliant. So I've got a whole sheet there of sentiments. So let's move that to one side. And let's find our die. And got these nice little stars and things on here, which if we line those up, that should help us to have left a bit, right a bit. What I'm going to do is here I've got some washi tape. I'm going to anchor this down. Just so it doesn't wiggle. So that's that star and that heart. Didn't quite make that, so perhaps 12.5 centimetres would have been a better size, because that one's just come off the end. So we've got a bit of everything in here. Sympathy, happy birthday. So what you can do is sort of perhaps do them in a couple of different colours. Once you've done them in black, you could then colour your card. That made a nice clonky noise, didn't it? Look at that. You could, of course, just cut this out of plain card and then stamp different sentiments on, use them as just labels for other sentiments, not just these. So there we have a whole bunch of little sentiments with stitching on, all sorts of things. So now we need to decide which sentiment we want with our butterflies. So let's put those together. Whisper white on our card base. I'm going to add this label to my vellum, because then I know where I can put glue on my vellum to add it. Let's give those a bit of a tweak. Some mini dimensionals. Curl that round a little bit. I'm going to have this little one here. Just deciding where we want our greenery to go. And then decide what we would like as our sentiment. So many, sending happy thoughts, sending a smile your way. I quite like that one. Let's go with that one to find some little couple of little dimensionals on the back there. To move that dimensional, hopefully, right to the end. So it will take it over the end of that. Ooh. I'm going to see if I've got, yes I have, if I've still got some gold thread here. Let's just snip that off. And we'll have that laying under there. Morning, Sarah. We're playing with some of the things out of the new catalogue that's going to be coming out in January. Although, hopefully, Sarah, you've already got one to sneaky peek at. To trim that end off just there. And put some dimensionals on here. So there's one little card that took much longer than I'd anticipated, but we were playing around and experimenting. So really pretty. So that's using all those two-step stamping and building up your colours and things on your butterflies. So what I want to do now is get another bit of Whisper White. So I've just got half a piece of Whisper White there. And I'm going to take our full stamper butterflies and I'm going to stamp, oh, let me think, probably 4 of these. Let's start with the infill for the big butterfly. And let's go pink. Now I think I'm just literally going to do the 1 layer of stamping for this one, just because I'm conscious of time moving on. one for the little one on the side. Let's go back to Mango Melody. One, two, three, four. For this other little one, I think we'll bring in some Seaside Spray here. Let's have a blue one. Go over that one a second time. And then we've got those leaves. So let's go Granny Apple Green. This is a really nice stamp set. And as I say, it's one of those things that, you know, butterflies, yeah, we've seen butterflies before. But I think it is now that it's going to come into its own. Last but not least on the Granny Apple Green. And then let's just take that little one, the mint macaron. And let's just fill in these. Very pretty. Spring-like. Like that. Then I'm going to take the two dies and I'm going to die cut all of those. Need a nice little box or something, don't I, to gather up all of these sentiments into. I'll have to allocate a little box to sentiments. Let's see what I can find. Oh, I know what I can find. I've got 2 layers of plastic tray here. Let's slide those into there, as I'm sure we'll be coming back to those in a minute for a greeting. And let's line these up. So we're going to have lots of butterflies really quite quickly. Where's the other half of my other plate gone? I'd done so well, not really lost anything this morning, up until now. It can't be far away. How very bizarre. Do you know? It's definitely not there, is it? No. Not been anywhere. It can't have gone far. I will just have to make do and mend. Rustle, rustle, rustle. That is just bizarre. Right, let's run this through here. Luckily, in an emergency, we can grab a big shot plate. Just beyond puzzling where that has gone. And right, so what I've got is 4 lots of these butterflies. I'm going to take a little bit. Let's have a look if I've got a hodgement of seaside spray that is big enough. I don't think I have. I don't think that is long enough. No. So we'll find a whole piece. And we'll make this 14.4 by 10. And we are going to stick butterflies all over this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some little mini dimensionals. I'm going to grab my basic black marker. And I'm just going to run a line down the back of there. Let's turn all of these over. Now, if you've ever done a floating frame card, you will know that getting all the bits in place and getting all the dimensionals on the back can all be really quite time consuming. But one of the reasons that this set is called Floating and Fluttering is because it is just perfect for creating floating die cards. Now, the reason that I've put lines on the back of these is because that helps you to see which ones you've taken off and which ones have still got their backs on. So take the backs off these. Okay, to my left. Up. I can see it. I've now found it. It's right over to my left, but I have found it. Right, let's pop that there. Because when you do these cards, you do need your die cuts to be really quite close together, not to be too many gaps. So if you've had to cut those all out individually, if you would have had to have stamped and die cut enough butterflies to fill this card, that in itself would have taken quite a while. As anybody that we did a class on this quite some time ago. The cards were beautiful, but very, very time consuming. But you do get 2 cards from one shot. So in that respect, it is good. Put that there. Going to trim that off because we might need that to fill in a gap. We'll see. Take the backs off these. I knew this was going to take a while, which is why I'd aimed for a quick and easy first card. Haha. But the end is in sight. We're nearly there. One there like that. Last but not least, off you come. It's turned over and then they stick, don't they? There we go. Last but not least, and we'll have you there like that. Let's take our scissors, trim these off the edge. Like that. Take this little bit just here. And just fill in a little bit. There we are. We have a whole host of butterflies on there. So what I'm now going to do is take this frame like that and cut a piece out of the middle. So obviously you could use any shape for this. You could have an oval or a square or one of the stitched labels. Let's take that out of there. Let's cut that in half. That will sit on there like that. And we just need a greeting of some sort to go in the middle. That would need to come that way, but we could do that. No, there seems to be one missing out there actually. Need to hunt that one down. Perfect. Thinking of you. I'm a little concerned that that is not going to stick, and it will fall off as I turn that over, and I really don't want that to happen. Thinking of you. And oh. So there we have a floating frame card with all that sort of 3D element. And we have this little bit here that we're going to be able to add to another card front, possibly a sort of, that one's a bit marked, but something like a little square card one, and that you could grab one of those greetings, perhaps put a bit of a frame behind it. So be able to put a little frame behind there and create your little framed card as a second card, or you could use it as a tag. So you could create a little gift tag, that one to have a matching butterfly card and gift tag. So the Floating and Fluttering stamp set and matching dies. If you just want to cut out individual butterflies, absolutely stunning and beautiful with all that two-step stamping. But if you want to do floating die cut cards, it's a game changer, because you get to cut all of those bits out just so quickly. So I hope you've enjoyed those, and we'll be back to play with something else on Friday, and I look forward to seeing you then.